Right, so it's Sunday, which means it's time for a bit of science knowledge. It's Roscoe here, and let's discuss what's happening soon. As you may or may not know, there's a new spaceship launching on Thursday, the 4th of December. It's the Orion Capsule, which is built by Lockheed. And this is, as they say, this is going to be the spaceship that takes us back to the moon. It's capable of going to Mars. But it's basically just another gumdrop capsule. It's not very original in its looking. I would compare it to, say, the SpaceX Dragon V1 and V2. And even, there's another capsule that's being built. Yeah, the CST-100 by Boeing. It's like, can we please have something different? But even so, it's going to be quite exciting. It's going to go 4,600 miles into orbit, which is a lot farther than anything we've sent other than geostationary satellites for a long time. It's going to orbit the Earth for a few hours and then it's going to come back, and then several years later it will launch again, maybe with people on it. Not very fast, but this is NASA we're talking about. You know how they don't exactly move at the speed of light. They barely move at the speed of dark, which is 0. So what else is coming up? Well, SpaceX have got another launch on the 16th. And what's interesting about this, it's another one of, I think it's CRS-5. It's going to resupply the space station. It's also going to try and land on a autonomous spaceship drone ship that Elon Musk has had built. And if you've seen the pictures of this, it's really cool. It's just a giant platform at sea. It's got a bull ring on the middle with an X marks the spot, and it's a SpaceX X marks the spot. So they're going to try and land the first stage from CRS-5 onto this. Hopefully be able to refuel it and fly it again soon. And obviously once they do that, cost of space travel starts coming down pretty damn fast. Other item of note on this next CRS-5, it's going to actually have X-wings. These are hypersonic grids to help with the pitch, roll and yaw when it's coming back in. I've posted it on Twitter, so have a look on there at Forster-Ross and you'll see pictures of both of them. Really cool. Also next year, what I'm really looking forward to is the beam getting attached to the ISS. The beam is the Bigelow Expandable Activities Module. It's one of their floating expandable habitats. You know how they launched Genesis 1 and 2 in 2006 and 2007. Well, this is, I guess, what would you call it, the proof of concept before they can start launching their BA 330 and hopefully the Olympus, you know, the huge capsules that can hold like 50 people or whatever, for a tiny fraction of what it would cost to build the ISS. But we'll see. Looking forward to that. That's going to be in July. Let's see. Also, recently we had the Antares Explosion. I was really disappointed. Well, obviously it was tragic. Because I think it was Planetary Resources. They lost some of their first Archids that they were going to launch into space. Another proof of concept. But I guess they will just end up putting them on another launch, probably SpaceX down the line. Obviously, there was the Virgin Galactic crash. I didn't realise they were 2/3 of the way through building the next, what do you call the small carrier ship? The VSS, I think it was Enterprise, was the one that crashed. Not the carrier ship, the actual module that goes up. So that's going to get rolled out next year. Obviously it's going to be a bit strange, given that the first one crashed. I really hope they can solve their problems, because Spaceport New Mexico, I really want it to succeed. It's this beautiful building in the middle of nowhere, built with tax dollars, and it's got the massive potential to be such a huge white elephant. I really hope it isn't. SpaceX are building their spaceport down in Brownsville, Texas, right by the Tex-Mex border. That could be where their first humans who launch to Mars could go from. So that will be very exciting if that happens. What else? The Dream Chaser. You know, in the recent CC Dev program where NASA is trying to privatise carrying astronauts up to the space station instead of being screwed over by the Russians for loads and loads of money. This is the only one that wasn't a capsule. It's the little mini space shot. It's really cool. Well, it didn't get any funding to go forward. They kind of cried foul. After all, Boeing got the biggest amount of the funding and they're the furthest behind in the development. Everyone expects SpaceX to get it because obviously the Dragon V2 has already been built and undergoing testing. So what they're going to do now, I don't know if you've heard of a company called Stratolaunch. It's founded by Bill Allen, who's one of the Microsoft founders. And you know, all these billionaires, you know, like him and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they all seem to want to be space billionaires, which is great because we love that. So he's building an enormous version of the Virgin-style carrier plane. There's basically like two 747 fuselages with wings that go like 300 meters plus in width, so that would be awesome. And there's talks that they could maybe launch the Dream Chaser from that vehicle rather than from an actual like launch rocket, as it were. So that would be cool, but it would mean it'd be scaled down slightly. It'd be 75%, I think, of the current size. But hey, more spaceships, the better. I'm just wondering, when is someone actually going to put in an order for one? Like, say, for instance, I don't know, Disney decide they want to start offering some little suborbital trips around the Earth. So they say, hey, Elon Musk or whoever, can we charter one of your capsules and have a few orbits? And I don't see why not. I'm sure that's going to be coming. We're still in the very early days of real space travel. So what else is coming up? Let's see, obviously Maven and the Mom are now at Mars, just had Siding Spring. Obviously, looking forward to Pluto and Ceres next year. I mean, how exciting was Comet 67P? I mean, that was amazing when we first saw the images, and the data we're still continuing to get is fantastic. So, Pluto, that's going to be awesome with that double planet system between it and Charon. Wonder how many other moons will find. Will it have rings? Will there be active cryovolcanism? We just don't know. And the same goes for Ceres. I can't believe no one has looked at that dwarf planet since that Hubble picture in 2005, where you can just make out a little bit of detail. Seriously, has technology not come on since then? Anyway, we're going to find out soon enough, because even though it had a few problems with its ion thrusters recently, it's still going to get there March, April, and we'll finally get to see what these planets look like. More planets the better. And obviously, let's see, Kepler, its K2 mission, that's still ongoing. We've not had any results from that yet, but I think Campaign 0 and Campaign 1, the data's on the ground, and it's undergoing Campaign 2 at the minute, and as you know, it's drifting across the plane of the ecliptic. So instead of just staring at that constellation Lyra that it was doing for several years, very successfully, and fantastic results we got from that, this will show a better distribution of planets across the galaxy, I think. So very much looking forward to that. And then obviously there's the TESS Planet Hunter, that's launching in 2017, and the James Webb, if it ever launches in 2018. It just seems to kept putting back and back and back. I wonder what will go up first, James Webb or the first SLS launch? Why don't you let me know? Anyway, that's it from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed Sunday Science class. This is Roscoe, and as always, peace.